Tourism has just been a relentless juggernaut of an industry over the last 60 or 70 years, since the Second World War. In the immediate post-war years, the United Nations declared that tourism was a smokeless industry, a great economic development opportunity, particularly for Global South, for the developing world economies. But over the ensuing years, decades, that focus on economic growth has resulted in the commercial development of tourism into this enormous economic force. And of course, over the decades, in the 1980s, the first tourism literature published concerns around climate change and carbon emissions and changing resources, changing tourism resources. Glacial retreat being probably one of the most notable and the most obvious, but all sorts of impacts on local ecologies and local environments. So we have this juggernaut of an industry with a particular focus on the economic benefits of tourism, and they're undeniable. It's a $1 trillion industry. It's just a global economic phenomenon. But in all of this, we've seen growing concerns around social impacts, social carrying capacities, social license, communities becoming exhausted by tourism, relentless growth in tourism. We've seen local ratepayers meeting the costs of infrastructure and facilities for tourists, and struggling at the community level to keep up with growth in visitor arrivals. So facility developments, infrastructures, roads, car parks, toilets coming under increasing pressure. Communities kind of constantly being behind the eight ball in terms of visitor numbers racing ahead of those capacities, those capacity constraints. Cultural impacts, loss of authenticity through mass tourism, and of course the inevitable environmental impacts of high growth, high volume, relentless tourism. Everyone wants to be a tourist.